All right, well, the first order of business, according to, is it the bylaws, or I think it's the law, is to, our first meeting is to elect officers.
Okay,
Is that right?
yes, it is. Can I give everyone a background? As you know, we did go down to TCM Elite Management to hold our elections for the second time this year. Jim and I did win, but we have to, according to the laws, Texas property law requires that the members vote on who sits on, who operates the officers. So it's left up to us we all have to vote who's going to sit in what seat. If it's president, vice president, and so forth, and so on. Okay. So
it's not all, it's just Natalie.
Right, well, it's just us too.
Right.
So we need you all to vote us into our seats. Come on in, Dustin. How are you? Come on in.
We didn't already do that.
Well, no, actually, what you did was you elected us to be voted on the board.
Okay.
And now what you have to do is, I'm going to make a motion to elect Jim as president, that he sits as president, which means that he'll be our president for the next 3 years.
Okay.
And then, Jim will make a motion for me to be vice president. And it's for, as long as everybody agrees, then it'll be set forth.
Okay. So let's make that motion.
So
and actually, it's mostly between you and me.
Right.
The way it's structured, the board members elect officers. And so will we do that? I'll be president, you'll be vice president.
Yes. I motion for Jim Place to be appointed as our president of our homeowners association board.
And I second and vote for it.
All those in agreement?
Yeah.
I'd say
In the same way? Right. Okay, and also I'm nominating vice president Natalie.
Okay.
And if there's a second from Roberto.
Does anyone want a second?
Good. Okay. All right, so that's covered then. All right, now, the treasurer and the secretary do not have to be board members. We do not have a secretary or a treasurer yet. We're looking for anybody with any skills in that area. But right now, I think Natalie and I have agreed that we'll assume those positions until we find someone that would want to step forward. You don't have to be a board member. You can just be a volunteer. Okay? At this time, we have none. Do you agree, Natalie?
Yes, I agree. So if anyone would like to volunteer to help us, in those two departments, or anyone who's we need a secretary and we need a treasurer for the homeowners association. So the way that it's designed, you have your board of directors. Okay, your board of directors basically they run the corporation. The management team is your officers. So it's your president, your vice president, your secretary, and your treasurer. Okay. Of course, your board members normally help to sit on the management board, which is why Jim and I will both sit there, but we need other homeowners to come in and help us with completing the board here. So if anyone would like to volunteer, we could definitely use your help. Okay?
Yeah, currently, the way it was told to us previously is that Ms. Cardoso claimed that she was both president and treasurer. We'd like to put it in the record that she is neither president or treasurer at this time. Right?
Right, correct.
Okay. And she was supposed to be here today. She also claims to be on the board, but she has not showed up for this meeting.
Exactly.
Was she notified?
Yes. All homeowners were notified, according to Texas property law and our bylaws, we have to notify you within 10 to 15 days before the meeting.
Yeah, and then notice now, our meetings are scheduled unless we have problems, our meetings will be every Tuesday or second Tuesday of the month at 7:30. So anytime you want to come in, anytime, you're welcome. It's an open meeting now. You're not supposed to have closed meetings unless there's something sensitive about somebody's individual issues. It's some property. Everything else open for everyone to hear. Okay, so until we find out that we can't have this meeting room or something every Tuesday of the month, we'll have to make other arrangements. But currently, this is the way we're planning. And this is our first meeting that we've really had since this whole voting fiasco is ended. Other than we had a couple emergency meetings, people weren't there, so we're going to go back over that stuff. We're going to do some of that stuff tonight in front of all membership and seal it up to be valid and unchallengeable.
Okay?
Right?
Right.
Okay, so I guess our first order of business would be the meeting minutes of June 4. And that was the first meeting that we had at the elite offices with Natalie, myself, and Mary Cardoso. And we have, Natalie and I have collaborated in making minutes. So I think, do we want to read those? Have you passed them, or will we just approve them? And then distribute them later? So everybody else wasn't there. So Natalie, do you want to, I move that we approve those June 4 meeting minutes that we made and authorize them to be published.
Okay, and I second it to be
Okay.
approved and published to our Facebook page.
Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. So then we move on to the old business, which was we had asked Mary Cardoso at the June 4 meeting to provide proof of her election, of her ever being elected to the board. She didn't remember whether she had been elected or not, but she figured she had. And it's been over a month now for her to provide the proof, and she has not done that. So I think according to the new law, section 209, if you can establish that you were elected and it's been over 3 years, then she's legally not even a member of the board.
So did you notify her?
So I remove. Sorry.
Did you notify her? Did you send a certified mail to her asking for the proof of election?
Yes. Actually,
I can.
Actually, the proof for election, you can all read here in the minutes. We asked at that meeting for proof of Mary's election as president. We also asked for the back records. We asked for access to any of the records for our homeowners association board. We found out that the records are being stored with a company that you have to, be granted access to. So we did ask, and you'll see it here in these minutes, that we asked for all of these things on June the 4th.
We held a lot of processing off, waiting for verification that Ms. Cardoso was actually a legitimate member of the board. So we held things back because we wanted everything to be clear. And we've been waiting and waiting, and we got nothing. So I think it's at this point in time that we need to make a decision that we deem Mr. Cardoso not eligible to be a member of the board by Section 209 of Texas property law, which is very specific about it. So therefore, we will remove her from the board from any claims, and we will ask her to provide all the records and to relinquish her claims to signature authority on all bank accounts. And I nominate that. I move that, Natalie.
Okay. That's a motion, was it?
Do you-
I second it.
Yeah, I second it. I second it.
All right. And we vote. This is a board vote. So if you and I vote for it, Natalie, that's the way it is.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so that's it. Unless, in the unlikely event, she can actually provide proof that she was ever elected. And it has to be within the last 3 years. If it was over 3 years, the law says it's no longer valid. Anyway. Okay. So, at the same time, we need to request that she provide relinquish bank accounts and that she submit our names as signatories on the bank account.
And I do have here a letter that we created for her to sign had she come to the meeting tonight, relinquishing the bank account. Just as a point of information to you all, Jim and I have, for the last month, had several emails that we sent out, mailings that Elite just did not respond. Anissa Trevino tried to contact her several times. I actually went down to the office also to speak with her, and she was just entirely too busy. She'd never get back to me on any requests that we made, which I just kept following up with her week after week in regards to the information on the election for Mary, number one, and two, about getting the records of, where our money's going. So, to no avail. And basically they've done what they've continued to do for the last few years, and that is, Mary has been in control of everything. The people that did sit on the board, I was told face to face from Anissa Trevino that they had no power. So when Mary filed this, when she filed a form with the state to bring us back into compliance with the she filed with Ricardo Jazo and Mr. Salomon this farm. When they filed this back in, this was in November of last year, because prior to that, you remember we were telling you all that they had gotten out of compliance with the state as far as our restructuring went. So she filed this in November, and in November we had not had any elections, we hadn't had any, any appointments given to the homeowners, any information given to us that they needed appointments to place on the board.
Or approval.
Or approval, that's right. Or
Yeah, they
approval.
get our approval
So,
to renew.
They have Joel Sabelon and Ricardo Jazo listed here. Well, did any of you vote to have these people?
I don't even know that.
Didn't even vote for her.
So they just
So-
were appointed.
They were just appointed,
Just
and
legal.
Ms. Trevino told Jim and myself in our meeting on the 4th that these people were just appointed to the board, and they can do that, but they had no power. So they could not sign checks, they could not approve anything to be done or not done. And this is what we were told. But they're listed here as treasurer and secretary. So
Why do they volunteer to do it?
They probably didn't even know. They just put their name down.
Exactly.
Can we not do the same now?
Pardon me?
Can we not do the same now and fill up the board with
Exactly, we're
appointees
not,
from?
exactly. That's how we started this whole thing today.
I have a question.
Yes.
When did they become elite? And shouldn't we have been notified?
Yes, and, we're gonna get to that, yes, we will get to that. As you can see, when she filed it here, I'll pass this around again, she filed it with Texas Community Management Company, okay? They're listed here as our agent, but Texas Community Management is in existence. Pulled them up, they are still viable with the state, but there's also now Elite Management. And Elite Management became viable with the state as of sorry, I have all this paperwork here. Yeah,
But what's this year? What's this year?
It was last year.
Oh,
They
last
filed in, that was filed in November. They filed with James, Patricia Ortiz filed to be a director of elite management along with Anissa Trevino, and their agent's name is Rosemary B. Jackson.
How do we get into a contract with unknown people?
That is in there, that is the problem. That is the problem.
That should be,
You know, the one thing that the previous president should have done was inform the homeowners. First and foremost, we were not informed of any of these things or any of these changes. So that leads us to, you there, Jim? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so that leads us to, we asked actually Elite Management at that June 4th meeting for their management certificate. When you have a homeowners association and the homeowners association decides to have an agent that is going to represent the homeowners association through legal means,